In 1982, the area around Chicago, Illinois became well known because of a number of deaths that were surrounding the use of the popular pain medication Tylenol. More specifically, the acetaminophen capsules that were produced by the Tylenol company had been laced with potassium cyanide, and as a result, 7 people died from cyanide poisoning. It started on September 29, 1982, when a 12-year-old girl by the name of Mary Kellerman died after taking one of the Tylenol capsules. She lived in an area known as Elk Grove Village, a suburb of Chicago. Throughout the day, additional people who lived in the area of Chicago continued to die as a result of taking this pain-relieving medication. This included a man by the name of Adam Janus, who also died on the morning of September 29 after family members gathered at his house. 2 more deaths took place because of the people taking Tylenol from the same bottle. This included his brother and his brother's wife. Additional deaths occurred on the same day.
Although at first there was a lot of mystery that surrounding the deaths, it didn't take long until authorities were able to pinpoint the facts that it came from Tylenol. They used broadcast speakers to issue warnings throughout the area and to stop anyone else from taking Tylenol at that time.
The Tylenol murder sparked a considerable amount of panic that was seen across the United States. People began to throw away medication in mass quantities, and Tylenol was pulled off of the shelves of most drugstores. There were also warnings that were sent out to hospitals and the distributors of the medication from Johnson & Johnson. They put a stop to the distribution of this popular medication and stopped all advertising of the drugs as well. On October 5, a recall of all Tylenol products took place on a nationwide basis. It is estimated that Johnson & Johnson may have pulled off the $100 million worth of medication back to their facilities for testing. As information continues to unfold over the Tylenol murders, it was determined that only the capsules that contained acetaminophen were affected. As a result, Johnson & Johnson made an offer to anyone who had acetaminophen capsules to return them in exchange for another form of Tylenol that was in solid tablet form. It moved the legislation forward, which changed the way that drugs are packaged today. Although there were never any arrests that stuck with the Tylenol murders, there were quite a few suspects that may have been linked to the crime. For example, a man by the name of James William Lewis says in the letter to Johnson & Johnson claiming responsibility for the Tylenol murders and demanding $1 million to stop the killing. Of course, police went to his home and searched through it in order to find evidence that may have linked him to the crime. No evidence were ever found, and he was not charged with murders, but he was charged and convicted of extortion. As a result, he spent 13 years in prison but was eventually released in 1995. Although there was some evidence that may have linked him to the murders, he has denied responsibility.
Another possible suspect, Robert Arnold, was also under investigation for the Tylenol murders. And those were never convicted of the crime and were cleared of any responsibility for the killing. He was still the victim of the media and all of the attention that were pointed in his direction. As a result, he had a nervous breakdown. In connection with the media attention, he killed a man that he thought was responsible for the attention. But it was a case of mistaken identity, and he spent 15 years in prison for second-degree murder.
There were also changes for anyone who purchased over-the-counter medication. As a result of the tampering with Tylenol, new methods of safety and ways of protecting the drugs were developed. These included many of the seals that are put on over-the-counter medications, which are still in existence today.
Although Tylenol murders were never solved, the investigation is still ongoing in the areas where the deaths occurred. Many people continue to take this crime seriously, even though it took place more than 30 years ago. So these are unsolved murders, but they are far from being forgotten.